Hey, good evenings, Cape Flint Stories. Hope you guys are good. Goeienaand, Kaapse vlakte se mense. Hoop het gaan goed saam met julle. Tonight we're going to talk about the clothing industry. And with us in the studio, we're going to have Genesis Style. I want you guys to please, join us. Please be part of this broadcast. Please do share it. The idea here is to tell the people the story out there, what's really happening in the clothing industry and how people are struggling, and also, what it means to support local. So, without any further ado, I'm going to introduce to you two friends of mine, David and his wife Taz. Good evening, David and Taz. Welcome, welcome.
Good
Hi,
evening, Stan. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Is it awesome? Awesome. Taz, before we start, David said I must ask you the questions. He's just going to be the guy behind the scenes, so I'm going to ask you the questions. Just give the people an introduction. Who is Taz and where did Genesis Style start? Just to give people an idea about the business.
Okay, basically, who is Taz? I grew up in Valhalla Park, and growing up, I watched my grandma. She sewed on one of these old Singer sewing machines, and I was always intrigued by what she did, you know. And with every garment she made, it was always a wow moment for me, because at one point I saw a piece of cloth, and the next moment I either saw a beautiful garment or I saw a wedding dress. And that really inspired me growing up. I always had a passion for fashion, but I ended up studying business administration and then accounts management thereafter. Because, when we, growing up as kids, our parents told us you can either be a police officer, a nurse, a teacher, or you must go and work in a factory. And we sort of believed that. And at some point, I stepped outside of the norm and decided to study administration. After completing my studies, I worked in various sectors, from dentistry to banking to engineering, just to mention a few industries I worked in. But I never really enjoyed what I was doing, because my passion was always fashion. I loved when growing up, I loved to dress my cousins and dress everyone and sit back and go like, wow, I dressed you for the day, for the function, whatever function we went to. And so that just sort of stayed with me. And whilst working, I started buying and selling clothing as a side business, Many clothing manufacturers who had excess chain store stock, we would approach them, or I would approach them, and soon it became something more permanent, because the demand was out there for good clothing, and it was expensive for people. And so my husband then decided to join me on my venture, and then it became our venture. But as our little business started growing, people started asking for more stock. And CMTs didn't always have a lot of extra stock, so we ended up resorting to going to the Chinese for stock, like many other people do. And I think that was the start of our downfall, where we started becoming greedy and buying so much stock to an extent where we ordered things specifically which our customers then ordered from us. And we burnt our fingers. We bought in a lot of stock. Samples we saw was beautiful samples, but when it got here, it wasn't what we ordered. And so hence there, we just went downhill from there. But God is good. And through it all, we lost a lot of things. We lost our house, we lost our vehicles, we just lost a lot, but we never lost hope, At the time, we had a little warehouse where we operated from, and we ended up moving into this warehouse, knowing that we didn't have rent money. But once again, God is good and He provided for us. And so our journey just started there by trusting and relying on God to show us the way forward. And when we were buying from these CMTs, we sort of saw a lot of things, you know. We saw how these garments were constructed. We saw how the ladies put in their all. And at some point, when we had almost nothing, we sort of said to one another, you know, we can either go down or we can build ourselves up from here. And we started selling some of our stuff. And by the grace of God, we were able to buy, I think, 2 or 3 sewing machines.
It is.
And his sister then came alongside us and said, let me show you guys how this is done. And some other people came alongside us and just showed us the ropes, if I can call it that. And that's where it all started. Today, we have plus minus 70 staff, young and old, from the ages of 18 up to 60 years old, who is in our employment. All of them are from the Cape Flats. And, you know, the passion that I see on a daily basis, the interaction, the struggles, the struggle for them to even get to work is amazing for us, you know. And so with that, we run various programs where we take the youngsters that come in, they know absolutely nothing, and we teach them a skill, whether it's sewing, whether it's printing, whether it's anything in the industry. And within 3 months, they are almost qualified machinists. And ministry is just a huge part of what we do on a daily basis. So our staff is like our family, because we spend more time with them than our actual families. And so we always try to create this environment where they can come in and be happy and love what they do and experience what we experience when we see the finished garment. And so, yeah, that's basically where and how we started out.
You started awesome stuff. You said it started with 3 machines, and from there onwards, you guys have built yourself up. But the nice thing is this: the more the business grew, the more people you can employ. You could employ, and I mean that is the main thing about small businesses. You know, the bigger we grow, the more people we can employ, and the less unemployed people we will have in our communities. And the reason why, I actually want to talk to you guys is actually on, why must people support local companies. The problem is that we always go to the big shops, but we forget there's smaller businesses out there that's making the same quality clothing, that has also staff that's working for them. And like you guys are looking after the people of the Cape Flats, you guys are looking after our people, that aunties that has been retrenched from the textile industry many years ago. I think it was 2008 when they started, retrenching our people. And you guys are giving those people a second chance. And that is where I want to say that is amazing stuff. But I want you guys to just, talk about, it's more difficult for you guys to get loans and stuff. It's more difficult for you guys to get contracts because, let's be honest, you are not the right color. You are colored like me. And we need to talk about it. The people need to know about this and just talk about it, how difficult it has been for you guys. Because, I mean, you guys julle maak die beste klere. I've seen some of your products. I've seen some of the things. It's good quality. I have some of your mask here. I was at your space one day. You really look after your staff, and that is where I could say, well, David is the guy that he is. David is die persoon wat sê hy is. But just tell us more about this difficult journey.
Yes, so we have never gotten any funding from anywhere. All the time since we gotten that 3 machines, it was sacrifice, hard work, no monies to spend, trying to get more people on board create jobs for more people. And by all of the sacrifices, we moved forward. And whether we bought one machine per month, we did. And we prayed and we asked the Lord to come through. And we got so busy helping people or making clothes that we didn't even see the blessings coming from the Lord. And before we knew it, we had 10 machines, 11 machines. And we believe that every machine must have an operator. So it didn't come without sacrifice, but we thank the Lord that we are standing here today, that we are still operating. It's been very tough, especially last year. So last year we were a week at home, and the next week we somebody asked us to make masks, and then we started there, and within the next week, we had a full shift. 2 weeks later, we started to work 24 hours. That's how busy we were with the masks. So, of the CMTs, owners know there's not much money with masks, but it kept us going. So that was in hard lockdown, and that was the time where the people were still waiting on food parcels that didn't come. So then our staff actually had work, they had wages, they could then provide for their families, their extended families, and for their neighbors. So besides everything that went wrong last year, we just said to ourselves, let's keep people in work, no matter the sacrifice. And with that, we did not manufacture anything, any clothes last year, only masks. And sometimes we didn't even have space for all the people to come, and then we had to work shifts and double shifts and 24 hours. But for people, it was a blessing for people's neighbors or staff's neighbors, their families, so that there was actually an outcome for them. But we are so thankful for what the Lord has done. And with that, at times it's tough. Right now, it's tough because the fallout of COVID, people don't have money, people don't have jobs. So the stock is not selling the way it should. And for us, our business, we actually only sell bulk. So we sell to people who sell again. And many of our clients, that is their only source of income. So we've got clients all over South Africa. So in remote places, and yeah, so that is how we do business. But all the challenges out there is when you manufacture for big retailers, many times there's issues. If you look at the comments on your, I think on Monday, yes,
Yes.
where the people complained about the big retailers. So it's a cutthroat industry because the big retailers wants to pay China's prices that they get from China. So here we can't pay a living wage with the amount that is offered to us. And the contracts, many times that the CMTs get, then there's middlemen involved. So they don't get what they should. And just if I think about Bonterville, there is more than 50 CMTs in Bonterville, but the people are still struggling. They just make it, or they short of wages, and then they have no option to underpay their staff. But yeah, so there's quite still a lot of imports, and I think government or local government needs to address that. Same for example, Netflix has to play 30% local content. So why can't shops or government pass a bill to have a certain percentage of local products on the markets, in shops, and then it will create jobs for people. People will eat, people won't go hungry. And yeah, we're just talking about the Cape Flats, but everywhere in South Africa, people are struggling. So we need to help one another. We need to buy from one another, support one another, buy local. So if you shop local, the money stays in the community.
That's
You
right.
can
That's
see
right.
with each of that money. But now, if you check the label, it's made in China, made in Indonesia. So where's the money going?
It's
Yes.
going overseas. It's going overseas, David. And that is just what I want to come back to is that when we do buy from China, the money goes overseas, right? So in other words, we can't really invest the money back into our communities. We can't really build schools, as a community, as businesses. And something that you said there, we need to now compare with their prices, where they charge for a pens, let's say 100 rand. You now need to sell your pens for 70 rand and you only make a fiver on it, where they get stuff for much more cheaper, and they have a way. Remember, made in China, they everything they do is cheap, and what we don't understand also the quality. So if you buy a pens today, you're gonna have to buy a pens again in 2 months time because the quality is not as good as what the local guys are actually producing. The other thing is this: we have so a lot of talent on the Cape Flats. We have people that can sew. We have I'm not familiar with the industry, but mense wat can clear snay and they're very good. But those people are at home, living in the backyard because there's no jobs for them. We should actually turn this industry around where we export. And I think that is what happened in the past. We would make suits and it will go from here outside to the rest of the world, and that is where we need to be again, because that is just like travel and tourism brings in money in Cape Town, especially. Just so the textile industry, but we are busy killing the textile industry because of made in China, and that is something that we as people need to understand. I mean, David, you know for a fact, some of the big companies also here in Cape Town, they will give you 200 rand a dress to put together. But they will sell that same dress in their shop because it has their label on for 3,000 rand. Our people would rather go and buy the dress from them for 3,000 rand than to come to Genesis Style, get from the same manufacturers that same clothing line, just with a different label on. They would rather pay more money at the big shops and make the people that's already rich. We, our own people, are struggling. How do you find that, David? And there's if you look at that, you guys make the same clothing. I mean, it moet 'n klap in julle gesig wees because the quality is just as good as those people. I don't know my mention names, but in the big shops where our people go and support religiously.
Exactly. No, it's difficult, eh? We've had clients that we've manufactured for. So at the end of the day, if we have excess stock, we'll use the same, you can use the same pattern because it's our pattern, and you'll make the exact same garment using a different fabric. But because, once again, it doesn't have that label, they will say, I'll rather go somewhere else. They won't even look at the garment because it doesn't have that specific label on. And it's sad.
Yeah, I think our people's value system should change because our community puts value on brands, on Nikes,
That's right.
Jordans. Our
That's right.
youngsters wear Jordans,
Yes.
but they don't even play basketball. They've got Nikes, but they don't run. Right? So it's
True.
all
True.
about the label. So, but that same youngster, right, if he just make the time, he can sew his own garments. He can make his own garments. There's no shame for a boy to sit on a machine. So, yeah, we really need to look at that and support one another, whether it's your
That's right.
neighbor making something, as ons kan kosiestes koop, by the neighbor, that you can buy a dress by the auntie.
That's right.
So
That's
we
right.
are skilled on the Cape Flats.
That's right.
Yes, but there's no recognition. But my prayer is to create a platform where people from all walks of life can sell the garments, can sell the goods, can sell the crafts. Because we sometimes we are so conditioned that no, we must work for someone. We must go work at that factory. We can't do it
That's
on
right.
our own. We're depending on our wages, on our salary. We won't take that step in faith to move forward or to go on your own. So yeah, we need to just to change our mindsets.
That is true, David. I just want to read this comment quickly here. I think it's one of your clients. Let me just put it up here. Proud to do business with Genesis Style. The quality is excellent every time. Thank you, Mr. David and wife, for empowering us as small businesses. Kerr Mike Enterprises is proud to be one of your clients. Keep up the good work. May God bless you and may Genesis Style grow from strength to strength. And I think that is what we want to see. You guys are making clothing to empower other people. So what you're doing, you're not selling it like what the shops are doing individually. You're selling it in bulk. So now that auntie can make business, making a profit for herself as well. And that is exactly the type of model we need to build and how we're going to empower our people. With me in the studio just now, what's his name? Byron just joined us. Byron, welcome. Maybe
Yeah,
you
man.
just want
Thank you
to
so
say
much.
Hi,
hello.
I'm
Byron.
in the car. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm in the car. I see Stanley Solar himself. So yeah, sorry I can't show my picture. I thought I'll upload a nicer looking picture than my ugly face. But at the same time by saying that, I'm just driving at the moment and I had to come on and I love what you guys are saying about quality and stuff like that also. It is so true in our areas, especially when our people start small businesses. When it comes especially to clothing brand, that's a tough industry to break through. And you guys are phenomenal, doing phenomenally in your job. And that last comment that guy said also, with the quality. Now, daai is die ding wat ons mense moet begin leer. We need to teach them more about quality, not just the word original. Because as soon as someone tells them, this is the original brand from Nike, but Nike is afgeloop in a brick, then they still go and buy and pay 2,000, 3,000 rand instead of going by someone that as locally manufactured. You can go back to them with quality brand, because I think we need to teach our community also about quality versus the other part also. So that's what you guys are bringing across, and I commend you for that, though.
Thank you.
Thanks, Byron.
You just threw Shanda in there, Shan. No, you're putting me alone on. We know Shan's got a lot of knowledge, but you don't do that to us, Stanley.
What did I do? Yes.
Uh, but just I think Shan had a question on that side.
I actually just wanted to know. I saw some of the clothes. Hi guys.
Hi.
It's
Hi, Shan.
really cool to be on here with you guys. One of my questions is like, do you guys actually cater for like the curvier girls? Because I mean, let's face facts, right? There's a lot more of us than there are skinny girls.
I'm pretty curvy. Yes, we do. So we generally do sizes from 32 up until 46. And
that's
if
cool.
if need be bigger, then so be it.
That's pretty cool, because like that's not something like, in your normal shops, it's not something that you find. You don't find nice clothing in like the
Yes.
bigger sizes. Like I was in my ladies yesterday and they have like some nice stuff, but like they don't have like, like I mean, if you it looks very cool in the smaller sizes, but the minute you like look at it in the bigger sizes, it starts looking a bit like tents. So yeah, so it's actually nice that you guys, that we have a local business that is actually catering to the fuller figured girls as well. So well done on that. Thank you.
Thank you. No,
Thank you.
definitely.
So I missed Stan. Wait, before I give Stan chance to go and talk. Yeah, shame he's used to this. Anyway, what I wanted to know, and the same thing I asked the guys about the jam now the other night. Like, what are the price points basically of your clothing. And I mean, yes, I understand that there would be a price difference in obviously manufacturing it yourselves and actually just bringing it in from China, and all the rest of it is definitely a price point difference. But what is the price point difference?
Actually, our price, there is, I won't say there's a price point difference, because our prices are very cheap. It's actually dirt cheap. So mostly we cater for the reseller. When we started out, right, we were buying and selling, and we found that we would buy 50 units and someone would come alongside and buy 6 units and they'd pay the exact same price. And we thought it was unfair. And at some point, David and I sat and we said, you know, the auntie around the corner also wants to make a decent living. So why not come in at a decent price where she can make 100% profit, and we make a decent profit as well. So from a price point of view, when you look at your chain stores, you'll pay plus minus 600 Rand for a nice evening dress. Whereas with Genesis Style, it won't exceed
It's a lot.
400.
And I've seen some of your stuff. Your stuff is like really beautiful.
Yeah, so we try and keep it as cheap as possible, so that everyone gets good quality, but at a good price.
And then how many people okay, so how many resellers do you have at the moment? Like just on average, just a figure.
Oh, we supply all over South Africa. Say we've got about 10% of our clientele is in the Western Cape, and all the others are, whether it's Limpopo, Newcastle, Pujijaba, Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, all over South Africa.
Well, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool. I mean, I didn't know that. That's actually new information.
Yes. So we started doing bulk actually from 2010, 2011. And we actually helped more than 3,000 people start their own business, give them training, how to sell. And a lot of people out there didn't even have bank accounts. So we had to train them from the get-go, how to sell and what to do. Because one of the issues that I had was, if you look at the auntie sitting by the station selling the sweets and the stuff, old lady there, but she needs to be at home to look after her children. So we actually taught these people how to sell from home, how to work from home, how to get clients. And many times when our clients, bulk buyers, buy from us, by the time the courier delivers it there, but then everything is sold out. So that is the way that we run our business, and we just want to empower people. So we're not just a brand, but also we create work and create opportunities for people. Now, so some of our bulk buyers, they have other people that they also sell to. So if there's one lady, Nobambo, for instance, in Eastern Cape, she's got 3 other ladies that helps her sell, that she also empowers. So that is how we run the business and how we encourage our clients to bless other people as well.
David,
That's a
and
good.
that actually, sorry, quickly, that actually brings me to a question. You mentioned something horrific there. 10% of your client base is in the Western Cape, where you manufacture, where you guys are situated, the people that you employ. That is bad, because you employing the people of this province. And I would assume at least 50% of your clientele should be from here. I don't know. We need to, Cape Town need to support Genesis Style, because I mean, you are employing people elsewhere, and we are saying that we don't have jobs here in Cape Town, but yet here's an opportunity for them. So maybe we need to look at the way, if there's people out there, maybe they must contact you, and maybe you can set them up also, because we need more of Genesis Style clothing in Cape Town, where we live, and represent the brand. You were saying, Byron?
No, I was gonna get to that also, but it's phenomenal what they're doing also. But I don't know if this question was answered maybe previously in the show because I popped on later and the kar maak so geraas. So I wanted to ask, your target market. Do you guys have a specific target market? I know I'm not know, but is it mainly ladies on the one side, and also the target market, is it between what ages and so forth, and your styling of clothes? You have spoken about that because that's sometimes very important also to this Western Cape market also.
So, okay, let's come back to the first question because you asked a lot of questions there.
Okay, sorry,
First
loaded.
question. First
Ons vra
question
baie.
there. Demographics. Between the ages, I would say between 25 and 55, 60. Ladies outerwear only for now. It's been a dream of David's to start a menswear line, and it just never came to pass. But we're trusting in the Lord that it will come to pass. And what was the other question?
Yeah, so it was basically the like you answered the demographics, whether as the ladies between that age groups, and also where do you see your clothing fit in the Western Cape? Because you look in genres in the Western Cape, there's different style trends and stuff. And why is it selling more in the other regions? And is it selling more in the other regions? If I'm stand corrected, why is it so? Is it the brand of your clothes or the people that's working for you, that word of mouth? What is exactly working for you at this moment?
Yeah, because we sell to bulk buyers, it's actually the business sense. So, like we mentioned earlier, our people, we do not want to support one another. But people in Eastern Cape support one another. They buy from one another. They help one another. So, yeah, they refer. Say about 80% of our clients is word of mouth. They say, David, I got your number from Tina, and can I place an order? And that is how people are. But our people says, believe you say, waar hulle goed gaan koop, waar hulle het gekry nie. You must buy
That's
from
true.
them.
That's
But
true.
the ladies, they come together and say, come, let's stockfeel together. Let's buy this. This is a good seller. Let's buy 10, 50 dresses. And that is how we as a community should be. Because everybody wears clothes. But our people are so fascinated with what they used to, with the label. But then you show them a better quality garment, better than the same dress in the shop, and this is better quality, but still they won't buy it.
But let's convince them, man, because now I know that word label, and I understand I'm a Western Cape boy. Ek opgegroeid as my tekkies, dieder as my klere gewees. And Stanley understands that. That's as a colored boy when you grow up in the Western Cape, we all know that. But we need to, how can we help you and assist you? And Shan and Stanley is great on bringing this exposure, but we want to bring it properly across. And with that ask also, what do you think would change not the minds, but also get this market here to understand, look here, we're not here to play. We are bringing you quality. So when you smell our brand and you smell our name, you're going to want to purchase and wear it with pride. What would make us help you, and you help yourself also bringing that brand across in that way? Because in the end of the day, it's your name that you want to carry also.
Yes, so with that, it's just exposure. Hey? We, for the past 5 years, we launched our brand in 2016. For the past 5 years, we have only ever sold bulk. But when we do sell bulk, we need to get fabric at a cheap price so that we can sell the garment cheap to our clients so that they can make a decent profit. So that was one of the challenges, but we could never buy fabric that we actually wanted, that we know is going to make a wow dress because the fabric is 120 rand a meter. And then before you've even sewn the garment costs already $200. Okay? So we are slowly moving to selling single units. We are launching our website within the next 2 days. We will sell certain items to directly, to single buyers. So soon, if you can just show our website afterwards, Stan, and so
Yes,
people
sure.
can shop online. And a lot of our people don't know how to shop online, or they don't trust giving the card details. So we've got tutorials for that as well to teach people. But what we should know is that the money is going back into the community. It is
Okay.
very, very important.
And I think that is the main thing. But I just wanna you as a client, Auntie Caroline, she's from Keller, she has her own organization. She said here, just bring this up quickly. Wonderful quality clothes. I have items I bought 4 years ago. And then says she so no skim. The agent passed away and I never found someone else again. So please do get in contact with us. She wants to buy from your brands again. Thank you, Caroline. But I do agree with you. We need to promote this. We need to, even if it means that I need to wear a cap with your name on, then I'm going to do it because that is the only way how we can market you. The more people see the brand, the more they will buy into it. And like the lady said here, it's good quality. And maybe I should start by buying my daughter a dress, and that's what I'm going to do because the problem is we teach our youngsters you must wear Nikes, you must wear Adidas, you must wear this and that. We make those brands famous. Why can't we make Genesis style famous as well? Or Jacob's Jam or our own people? Because like you say, the money goes back into the K-flats. You have people working for you from the K-flats. Those people can send their children to better schools. That is how we fight poverty. So I just feel that we need to all play our part and advocate for our own people. Byron, you were saying?
No, you're spot on by saying that, Stanley. What you're saying there is spot on. That the what that's mainly what we want to do, but we also want the brand to exist. And we're living in the modern day and age, and you're doing the right thing when you sell online. But what I want to say about that, not to use. I don't liking to use the word but. In that case, to add on what you have already, apps and so forth. I know it's expensive, but like I said, Stanley and Shan is here to help to reach out hand. I know word of mouth is a strong thing to use, but accessibility, how easy is your website to use? Is it very easy for people to use when they click on it? Nowadays people say, it's so complicated to shop on here. I can't find an item. Is there easy access? Is that the thing? Can you explain that to us also? Not to make it difficult, but just to assist how we can make it easier for customers.
Yes, so we are busy developing our website. It's almost done, but very easy. A few clicks and yes, a few clicks and then the garment is on its way to you. So we're going to try and develop other things actually to buy straight from WhatsApp, to buy straight from Facebook also, just to make things easier.
Nice.
A lot of people don't know how to shop online. So we are going to do that. And where an app is concerned, that is also something in the pipeline. But we've got severe budget constraints. So we can't afford to employ the right people or ask the right people to build our websites and do all our social media. And so that is the issue. So our first priority is always to make sure that there's wages for staff to wages each and every week. But Stanley, I just want to read a comment on Monday when the mayoral candidate was on. There was
Yes.
a comment from Egan Loubser. And thank you for posting that video with the empty seats. I'm just going to read this comment. It says, unfortunately, if you do not adapt with time, your business will suffer like this. Empty seats don't bother me. Lack of automation, digital marketing, and poor investment knowledge is what's worrying in our local businesses. So, like I said, we have never received a cent funding from government, but there is certain companies, startups, that have no experience, but they get 50 million grants. And with that grants, they get contracts from big retailers. And we don't get that opportunity. So we have to actually put money away for if you want a specific machine. There's certain machines that we still don't have because there is no budget, there's no money for that. So I think we in the Cape Flats should come together and share our skills with the youngsters, with people. Me and my wife, we don't have any formal training with clothing. Nothing at all. No diplomas, nothing, no courses, nothing. Hey, it is just our staff that comes there and work together with us. They do the best and say, no, this is an easier way to do that. Come, let's do this. The garment will look better like this. But another comment that I want to read from the Lean Christians, that was also on Monday, says people buy China bags because it's cheap. They buy China clothes because it's cheap, but you have to buy every 3 months because that's how long it lasts. I know because I made bags and people always complain how the zips of China breaks after a month or two. The bags I made last long and I didn't ask a lot of money. That's why my customers didn't buy from shops. I don't make bags anymore. I'm 69 and because I could never say no, my back began to pain. So I just sold my machines. People still ask me for bags. And here is the good part. I won't mind showing someone how to make bags and don't want money for it. There's a lot of people my age that can show how to make bags or clothes if the government will stop imports.
And that is exactly, David, what we're sitting with. We're sitting with the skills. We have the people that can do the job, but there is no jobs for them. And I think that is where government, they're making all these promises they can create jobs. But it's now 12 years later, and you still have aunties and uncles that is unemployed that used to work for Rextru Form, all those places. Hulle kan 'n suit in mekaar sit. Now you go to Blue Route Mall and you see the guys that is occupying a tailor shop here. It is foreigners cutting up, pencils, making suits, where the uncle down the road can do the same. Because you know what? When it comes to our people, and when you tell them this, like I said Monday to Jordan, and I don't know if you believe me, but when it comes to the colored people, there's not a lot of support from government side, and we need to emphasize on this that they need to invest in the right organizations, in the right companies, because if they give Genesis style a bit of funding, they can employ more people. More of those people that's living in Mitchell's Plain with the skills can now be employed. So they need to come out and they need to come play the game with us, because government can't create jobs. Unfortunately, they can't, but they can assist Genesis style to create more jobs, to make it more possible for people to make money. You're not only creating jobs for people in your organization that is working for you, but you're also selling in bulk. And that's another plus to it, where you're giving aunties that is outside with children that have a business sales skill that they can sell, and you're giving them the opportunity to actually go out and sell more products. So you actually, ons hulle sê just let the klap twee vliee dood met een baksteen of so 'n move. But I think government need to invest in businesses. I just think that now is the time. They always talk about, we have invested in this company and that company, but you never see the results when it comes to employment. And they need to also realize that most of the people on the Cape Flats are either bricklayer, tailors, a machinist, in a textile or in the textile industry. But those people have amazing skills, and we need to cater for them. We're just being quiet about it, and those people are unemployed. I don't know. Byron wanted to say something. Okay, Byron is gone. David.
Okay, I actually want to say something.
Okay.
So I hear you on the whole government thing, but like, let's face facts. You know what? We have to create the opportunities for ourselves. There's just no government ain't gonna come and rescue us. We know this. We've learned this lesson over and over again.
Yes.
So one of the things that I was thinking of while you were speaking, where you're speaking about budgets and not being able to do like websites and stuff like that, we have people that can help. I mean, I'm sure Stan's got people. I've got people. I have my own digital marketing company. So I have people that can actually I could easily like say, okay, no, cool. We employ a girl that actually does our digital marketing. I could happily say, okay, no, fine. You know what? Let us do your digital marketing for you because we could create all of those pages for you. It's just a matter of like one post a day or whatever. If you actually want to, we can actually help you. That's really not a problem. It wouldn't be we wouldn't be charging you. It's really not something I charge for. I've got clients that pay me for these things. And then the other thing is like Stan and I have huge followings on social media. And like, for example, the fact that you launching your website is amazing. It's great. And I think when you do launch it, like send us your stuff. Like, let's see what we can actually put up. Even if I put up one dress, a picture of one dress onto my page, you would be surprised how many views that gets. I mean, I think my stats is sitting on like in a month. In the last 28 days, I think my reach has been something like 9.8 million. So there's a lot of people, and a lot of people on my page are colored, and a lot of them are from the Cape Flats, from Cape Town, from all over actually I've got international people as well. But the point of the whole story is that I must admit, right, until Stan spoke about you guys, and I mean, I'm on social media a lot because that's what I do for a living. I had never heard of your brand before. So I think there's opportunities in actually speaking to people like myself, like Stan, whatever, and actually just getting the exposure out of it. We're not saying we can help you with sales, but we can definitely help you with exposure. And exposure brings sales.
That's right.
So, there's those type of things. And I really just think that as a community, we can actually help each other. Like you were saying just now, that auntie that can teach someone else and whatever. Just so much, I have a skill, Stan has a skill, Byron has a skill. All of us can actually just help you with the marketing side of your business. And I mean, it's as simple as really on my side, it's really as simple as putting up just one of your dresses and people will know about your brand. Just like a lot of people will know about your brand instantly. So let's try and do that. I mean, concentrating on trying to get government funding and all of that, that's a long-term vision, which is really, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, government is another story altogether. And yeah, there's certain people that obviously are going to get funding. There's other people that aren't going to get funding. We don't even know who those people are at this point in time. It just depends. It's obviously about who you know. So I'm actually really willing to help in that situation. Also, the other thing I was thinking of, you were speaking just now about when you actually selling to these people that are reselling. That's like an amazing idea. And stokvels are like probably more successful as an economic form of stokvels actually bring so much economic reform into our communities. So there's so many stokvels. I mean, these people that are putting this oorgooi like 300 Rand a month and then they buy stuff, margarine, whatever. Why can't they buy your clothing and sell it? But it's just a matter of approaching them and actually going to them and saying, guys, this is what we do. This is what we can offer you. Like, try us out. Like, buy 10 items, see if you can sell it. And then, if you're making a profit, and then that actually just snowballs into something completely different. So I think that's what myself and Byron are actually trying to do with these type of sessions, is basically saying, okay, fine, you know what? Firstly, like myself, it's like brilliant for myself because I actually don't even know about all of these businesses, but it's also a matter of the people that we know actually see us speaking to you guys and putting your stuff up, and they also get interested and they go and look at whatever. And if 10% of Stan's people and 10% of my people just buy one item from you guys, you'll be able to employ the whole of the Cape Flats. In actual fact, because you will really be able to make a huge difference. I think let's concentrate on those type of things which are tangible things that we can achieve, rather than like the whole thing about trying to get government funding.
I love everything
and I do agree with you, Sand. Like we have a bit of a platform, so we can assist them, and I think that is the way forward. Like I said, we can't depend on government, and like you also know that they're gonna disappoint us. But if we do take these platforms and we do market Genesis clothing, I mean, there's quite a few people now that actually already knows about Genesis clothing, and they are most probably gonna buy some of the products. So I think this is the way forward. Um, I think that is the only way forward is how we're gonna promote your brand, and more people can see it, and the more people will actually buy it. I just want to ask one question. Somebody messaged me. They want to know, will you guys still make men clothing still this year? Because I've got quite a few men here that's actually sending me messages. Vra vir maak sê gaan hulle mansklere maak. I think it's also a market to also sort of tap into.
It has been on our minds. It has been on our hearts, and David has been prompting me to. So yes, later this year, definitely we will start pulling that way as well.
Okay. And then just also, what's the future? Where do you guys see yourself in the next? Let's put out a 5-year plan. Where do you guys see yourself? Because David mentioned to me one of the things you guys want to do is to go back into the community and teach people how to make clothing. Is that still in pipeline?
It's always been a dream. It's always been a dream where we are wanting to create a hub where people. I've got a heart for people. So my heart's always been to create a hub where whether it's abused people, and I won't say women only, because it's not just women who are abused. There are men. Let's face it, men also get abused. Children are abused. So create a hub where abused people even can come, and where they can find that family values, where they can find love, where they can find, and at the same time where we can teach them to be self-sustainable, whether it's whatever skills we have, we can teach them. And so when they go back into the community, they're not dependent on that person that abused them, or whoever they were dependent on before. So that when they go back into the community, they are able to actually say, hey, I'm actually in a good space now. I'm sustainable. I have a skill. I don't have to rely on whoever I had to rely on before, because God has blessed me with an amazing new family that has taught me that life is not about hanging around and waiting for small change.
Exactly.
Instead of creating what they love to do. And so, yes, it's
Awesome.
still in the pipeline.
And I like what you say, to give people that ability to create their own clothing, or to make their own clothing, because that will also, if a lady wants to leave her husband because of abuse, she will be able to be comfortable, in leaving him, because she can make her own clothing, she can provide for herself. And this is the type of skills we want to invest back into our females, and like I say, men as well. I mean, huishoudkunde and those things were all part of the school curriculum, but it sort of disappeared. And we must encourage men also to become, designer,
Look,
designer or dress.
we have about eight guys that work
So,
for us.
listen,
That's
yes,
actually amazing.
And they
that
are
is,
amazing skilled workers, eh?
yeah. Because we always thought this was just a skill for ladies, but it's time that men also step into this career. I mean, it's a paying career. I was at the shop where uncle were making suits, and he uses this. He makes brilliant suits, but I'm be honest with you. I won't support him because he's a foreign. I rather support my own people, because there is a problem, and I'm not being racist or anything. It's just that there's a problem in our country. We need to support our own people. I don't know how San feels about that. And ek sien sy hou met dop daarso. But I think it's time for us to support our people. It's time for us to get out there and and make Genesis style famous. It is our duty as people to wear it. It's our duty as people to promote it. And that's the only way. And the last question I want to ask you, we are coming to an end now, is that you guys employ young people as well, and that is what I like. I mean, we need to employ young people, because we have young people that's unemployed. When you guys expand, obviously that will obviously be part of your plan to employ more young people and upskilling them.
Yes, no, definitely.
Yeah, Stan, it's so easy and a pleasure to teach someone who doesn't know anything of the industry. And we had over the years several entry-level positions. We call them cleaners, whether you clean the floors or clean garments. And just to give you an example, some of our cleaners, a guy that started about 2 to 3 years ago, he's our dispatch manager now. Knew nothing about the industry, but willing to learn. Other lady knew nothing also. She's one of our best machinists. Within 3 months, she could put in zips. If you, it's a difficult operation, but because she was willing to learn. One of our other cleaners from Delft, he started there, he worked, and he was willing to learn. He is a tour guide now at a 7-star hotel in Dubai. But just because he was content with his position, he was willing to listen, we could minister to him, and look where the Lord has him now. So sometimes people think it's, they feel stigmatized by working on a machine, by cleaning, by doing this, but it's just a stepping stone. So, but as if somebody new comes in and is more than a month a cleaner, then we know, no, there's a problem. Then it won't last long. So,
that's right.
Yeah, we empower the youth, but we must also be willing to learn, willing to be hard with people and say, no, this is the way. This is not your mom's place. So let's say it's your master. You understand? So we
It's
have
one
to.
of my favorite comments, one of my favorite things.
Yeah. So that is how we love with people, love working with people, whether you were in jail 15 years or whether you were a drug addict. If you come into our business, it's not who you are. We had the homeless people also working there, but our staff didn't know, and they were treated properly and fairly, and no issues. So yeah, we love people, we love community, because we come in from a marginalized community. We both came from the Alla Park. We know the needs there. We know it's with the swami in Sakare. And we want to get people away from that 350 mentality, the Sasa mentality. So to have them actually work and see, you can make that money in one day if you apply yourself.
But you know, the other thing is, right? I mean, you employ young people. Young people are very good on social media type of situations. So maybe an opportunity would also be to tell to involve your young people, as much as they're coming into entry level positions, to actually use them to say to them, okay, fine, guys. So as much as you are a cleaner or whatever, a machinist or whatever, you know, put it up on your social media platforms, on your WhatsApp, put it up on your TikToks or whatever, and whatever you sell, I mean, you're obviously making a profit from that as well. The company benefits because it is, the employees are actually marketing them, you know, marketing the company, and the employees are actually making a little bit of extra money. The other day, I actually mentioned to the Jacobs guys that one of the things that, you know, where I need you to actually see how big what you are doing is in your community is the fact that you employ X amount of people, and that's great. So I said it now the other night as well. That means that times that by 4, because on average there's 4 people in every family. That's how many families you are actually feeding. However, you guys are doing the whole thing where you're selling in bulk, and you've actually got, you know, so many people in different provinces that are actually making money from selling your product. And you're actually probably supporting so many more families than you actually even realize. I mean, if you actually sat down and you worked it out, you'd probably be blown away yourselves by how well you actually are doing as far as making a difference in people's lives is concerned.
Wow, that's so true. I just wanted to say before I run, because the system kicks me off the whole time. I think it's because I brought my face on and it doesn't like my ugly face.
I also think so.
But yeah,
I was going with a cap, but okay.
I never wear a cap. but I came from the road, man. One of that. But anyway, by saying that, but firstly, I want to start with Stanley and Shan. What you guys are doing is phenomenal, and a lot of people won't understand how you guys can monetize out of what you're doing and the platforms that you have and the target market that you have. But firstly, I want to say that you guys are doing something to bring a light what government is not even doing. Though, guys, Stanley and I, myself, is talking to on each and every Monday is not even doing the promise they make. You are putting into action already. Now, by saying that is, you said earlier you haven't studied this dressmaking and the qualifications and stuff like that. For me, I grew up with a dressmaker. My mom is a dressmaker. En ek sal altyd sê die kleerling ons het 'n am geleer van kleins af al. We are taught to be practical from a young age, and you guys have been taught that all your life. So I commend you for what you're doing. I was going to steal Shan's words of how many family you've been feeding. She took her own words back again, but again, just to remind you that you are feeding tummies, you are feeding families, and yes, colored mense likes connections en ons is hier. Ons like connections gee. Ons wil mekaar uithelp. And Stanley and Shan is besig om uit te wys on a larger scale. And people can only fear them because what they're doing is phenomenal. And if you guys buy into it and other small businesses buy into it, as you can know, Stanley and Shan has probably not asked you on here for a penny because a lot of people charge people things like this. And I want to bring it to light. And I know they won't mention these things, but ek is maar 'n persoon wat die moet uitlig and say that people must understand that we want to help people to grow as the two of them want to do with their platforms where they can make lots of money off. But this is, if they can help people grow like you are helping people feed themselves, what better would the world not be with that? So I commend all of you at the same space. Hopefully this thing doesn't kick me off if I take my cap off now. But yeah, so have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Keep well, guys.
Thank you, Byron.
Thank you so much, Byron.
Bye-bye.
I just want to ask if there's any last words of you two guys, of you and Tess, that you guys wanna leave with us. Just tell the people more about you guys and the plans, and just put yourself out there.
Yeah, I think going back to the interview with the mayoral candidate now the other day, when he said they've got a DA run initiative where they empower people, give them new machines, train them, and they even work for a big company now. But how many more people can we reach when we support local brands, when we sell nationally? How many more people? Because they only work for that one company, and that one company is going to make money. There's no outlet after that. Hey, how can we help one another, or how can we actually force government and say, wait, there is a budget. Before you give money back to the treasury at the end of the year, use it in the community.
And you are so right. I think they can build more factories. If they build more factories and they make it available to, at a cheaper rate for, for rent and stuff, then you guys can actually say, okay, now we have a bigger amount, a bigger budget, because most of your money also goes towards your factory, because you have to pay every month rent. So if they can make it easy for you guys, where they build these infrastructures, especially I would believe in areas like the Cape Flats, why not build factories there? Those people that travel, some of the money go just towards traveling every month, towards food every month, and they have nothing left. So they don't really make any money. So government should also look, or we should do it ourselves, like San said. We can't depend on them, but we need to look at a model that really works for us.
Also, like, with the whole thing about the salaries that people get paid at the companies that, you think that the bigger companies pay decent salaries. They don't. Your entry level positions are very low paid jobs, and like Stan says, just traveling alone is killing people. So that is something to look at. But Stan, and you know what, now I know you had your mayoral candidate on Monday. I didn't watch now. But the point of the whole story is, right, that those same people that are now out here trying to speak to us now and trying to get votes now, because this is now, the 27th of October is coming. So all they want is votes. So they'll come on, they'll make lots of promises. They'll tell us about all of these programs that they're doing. In all honesty, have you even heard of these programs before they actually came here and told you they have a program where they're actually teaching this one, that one, that, whatever? They talk nonsense. I haven't got time and energy for all of the drama. So let's just face facts. They aren't going to help us. They will promise, they will make promises, they will do absolutely nothing. And I'm not even talking about just the DA. I'm talking about all of them. So like all these new guys also that want to be in and they're making these big promises, when we come in, we'll change this, we'll change that. We all know they're not going to do it. So let's just actually do it ourselves.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right.
I
Tess, is there just something from your side?
I just want to say thank you to you guys for this opportunity. It's really, really, really heartfelt. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. But we need to, like you said, we need to create awareness. Actually, show people what goes into a garment, who benefits from it, how the process happens, so that people can actually understand where it's coming from, what the difference is between buying a local garment or an import. And I'm not just talking about garments, but other things as well that can be manufactured locally but are imported. So,
So make the videos.
Yeah, make the video, send it to us.
Yes,
Make the videos. We'll put it out there. I mean, Stan will put it out there. I'll put it out there. And I mean, if you take it and you actually if you make a video, like, I mean, it has to be short because people don't watch long videos. But if you actually take it and you let me give you an example, right? You have a camera. You go in and you create footage, right? You just go in actual fact, speak to your employees and say, okay, fine, guys, we're going to make a video today. You introduce them quickly, like, like the one day you can actually make a segment of videos. You can actually say, okay, fine, these are the people we employ. These are their families. Speak to them. They actually become personal. So then it becomes like a personal thing. Like we actually, who don't work there, we then actually relate to those people on a personal and an emotional level. Then the next thing you can say, okay, fine, this guy does this one does that, this one cuts the patterns, this one does that, whatever. We then understand the process that goes into it. And I mean, what I'll do tomorrow morning, Stan, is if you send me those pictures that you had on your page, I'll take one of your garments, I'll put it up tomorrow morning, I'll put your contact details there, and like direct people, if you have social media pages, I'll direct people to your social media pages just to get that ball rolling. I mean, TikTok is a huge thing. I mean, it's a 30-second video can actually like change your life on TikTok. If you actually just have somebody make a TikTok video, put like really good music to it, and there you go. You know what I mean? We share it and life carries on. So, there's lots of things that we can do to help you and that we obviously want to do to help you. And I mean, I'm looking forward to actually going through and seeing exactly what it is that you guys actually make. And I'll probably also purchase just because I can and because I'd want to support you. So I'd probably go on there and go and check and see what it is that you have. And I'm glad that you're going to be starting to sell to individuals now as well, because I think that's going to open up a whole new market for you.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
David and everybody, thank you so much. We've come to the end of our program now. But thank you
say
for
2 hours?
joining us.
Didn't you say 2 hours? I'm just getting warmed
We
up.
need to start these things earlier, Stan.
We need to start it early, 7 o'clock.
Ons praat baie.
Yeah.
Ons kan baie praat.
Yes. Stan, I don't know if you have access. I sent you a video earlier on. Do you have access to play that video maybe?
I can't actually. It's MP4. I don't know, somehow I can't. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to Shan, maybe convert it, and then I'll post it tomorrow morning as well. Then she can do it on her page and I can do it on my page as well.
Thank you.
Yes,
because I
just remember that is of our 2016 spring release. 2016. It's just an old video to show people that we've been around for a while, that we know what we're doing. We can basically manufacture any type of clothing, anything. And if
And
you
I have
don't
I'm gonna
seen,
answer,
send
then you'll get Takere's Anton first wys.
I'm gonna send Stanley an idea, and then because I don't have your contact details, and he'll probably send it on to you. But I mean, the what you're actually saying now, because I didn't know about the video, but that's actually a really good idea. It's a really cool marketing gimmick. So you could actually like have something where you actually run something that actually has somebody modeling or just taking a photo of themselves in your clothing, and then use local people, normal people, to actually create like a little bit of a fashion show at some point in time. Stan, we must do a marketing Cape Town. And then yeah, then that way,
we must do
you've
that.
now got people actually creating content for you to actually sell your stuff.
Yes,
Excellent. Yeah.
that's good. Yes. So soon, I think we're gonna have Cape Flats Fashion Week. Right?
That sounds like it. Why not?
Yes.
And we will.
Yeah.
But I think we need to have this type of fashions and things on the Cape Flats, showing people. Allah watch manne overseas, so Michael Jordan, what he Blaney, what he wears, and they want to look like him. But if we take Fiki down the road and we dress Fiki Kwai, we can show him we can look like Fiki for much more cheaper. And that is how we're supposed to
That's right.
our own things. But I'm very much looking forward to it, and let's promote this. People, you said in 2 days' time the website will launch. I will definitely share it. I'll put it on the page. I will give your number to Shane as well. Let's support one another, man. That's the only way forward. That's the only way how we're really gonna grow. Once we help each other.
Yes, yes.
Guys, it was amazing actually meeting you. I'm sure we'll chat lots more going forward. And yeah, I'll definitely put your stuff up on my page tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much,
Thank you,
David.
Stan.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Stan. Have a good night.
Much appreciated today. All right.
Thank you,
Okay.
Bye, Stan. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Tess and her husband David and Sean from Colored Girls Rock. Thank you for joining us. And guys, if you can support them, please support them. The idea is to promote local businesses. The idea is to promote our own people, and this way we can, generate income, we can generate money, and we can create jobs. And once we create jobs, we can feed our own people, we can look after our own. So thank you very much, everybody. It was, the idea is, I know some people get bored by certain things, but the reason why we use Cape Flats Stories to promote small businesses is to give people an idea what's really happening. Some topics are popular, some topics aren't popular, but the topic of tonight, or the chat of tonight, people's lives depends on supporting local. So thank you very much, everybody. And yeah, man, keep lekker. Ons praat weer. Cheers.